Yeah, this gun is pretty fair and balanced. So hello gamers. A lot of people say that guns in this game are overpowered sometimes. In my opinion, the balancing is pretty good, but there are some guns that are very, very strong to the point of being overpowered. So today I wanted to count down the top 5 overpowered guns in Phantom Forces. Also, if you could like the video, that would be really nice. And yes, I have a Discord server. Join that link in the description. So first off, you have the C7A2. I don't have an insane loadout on this thing, but let's be real, this gun is very, very strong. In fact, it does less damage than a carbine in most cases. However, the damage ranges are ridiculous. With the long barrel, this thing can 5-shot to, I don't know, like 280 studs, and 4-shot to like over 200 studs or something. I don't know a ton about the damage ranges. I don't even have long barrel on it. People are going to complain about my loadout. Every time I pull out the C7A2, people are like, why are you using the folding grip? I literally have like 330 kills on this gun. I don't really like it. Personally, it's just not my type of gun. I used to use the M16, but those days have passed. I kind of just use like battle rifles and stuff and PDWs. But anyways, this gun really just needs, it can't be this much of a laser. It's just such a beam. And also 19 minimum damage. Make it like, I don't know, 18, maybe 17. So it's still a 6-hit, but it doesn't 5-shot to the same range. Make the damage ranges slightly worse. Actually, no, they could be a lot worse. A little bit of an increase to recoil is fine. It doesn't have to be a big increase. It's just a little bit too much accuracy for me. I think it should be slightly less accurate. And it can have like a 200 stud min damage range. I don't know. I feel like other than that, it's fine. Like I said, it doesn't do a ton of damage. It's a 4 to a 6 hit, which isn't terrible. It's not like super subpar or anything, but the fact that you can 4-hit so surprisingly far, it just needs a little bit more of a downside. So yeah, that's just what I think about this gun. At the end of the day, I feel like it's definitely a little bit too strong. It's not going to destroy you in every scenario, and I feel like the M16A3 has like way more recoil, worse damage ranges. There's not a lot of reasons to use the M16 over this. But next you got the AA12. I only have like 120 kills on this. I bought the 20-round mag, I think, for a video. I did not pre-buy the gun. I only have like a delta sight and 2 green lasers. This gun is still a little bit overpowered. People say it's super broken. It's not as broken as it used to be. You can't use flechette and 20-round drum. For this one, I don't really know of any nerfs short of actually removing the 20-round drum. It doesn't really make any sense to make the spread worse than it is. Right now, it's just completely ridiculous. Like, look at that spread. You can just play using the server browser only like a very close range map. Let's say you're playing on Bazaar, you're only going to be in close range, so you're just going to win every fight. Because at that point, you're pretty much just using a 20-round full auto gun that you don't need to aim at all and also can one-tap. Is it going to one-tap a lot of the time? No, but it's probably going to like 2-tap up close. And yeah, I'd say, oh yeah, you got to play strategically in order to one-tap. You could just do whatever and probably go off. I do have a slight nerf that might work. Now, this is a little bit iffy, but maybe if you made the pellet damage 24 instead of 28, then it would 5 pellet kill. Now that would lower the amount of one-taps that you could possibly get, which might make it a little bit less strong. But yeah, anything short of removing the 20-round drum doesn't really make any sense. I don't see making the spread any worse as being a viable option. It's kind of already as big as it can be. After that, it's just ridiculous spread. But the problem is not really the spread. It's the fact that it has 20 rounds and it can one-tap, maybe slow the reload, maybe make it only have 20 reserve. People still hate on it a little bit more, but I would say it is a little bit more overpowered than something like the C7A2 when it comes to close range. Next, you got the M107, another gun that already has gotten a nerf. The C7A2 got its 45 ACP nerf, so it was 45 CNC. Is that different from ACP? I don't know. Regardless, that conversion got nerfed. The AA12 has been nerfed multiple times. M107 has gotten nerfed. They made the handling and walk speed absolutely horrendous, and they made it so you have to buy the extended mag. It used to have a default 10-round mag. It's really fun to use as basically just a torso kill DMR. You can kill from like literally any range, as you can see. It does 98 to 88 damage to the limbs, headshot kills all ranges, but most importantly, torso kills all ranges. Now, there's not a lot you can do to make this worse because you'd have to nerf it in ways it's already been nerfed. For example, make the handling even worse than it already is. But I would say there are 2 things that I think could nerf it in a way that would make more sense. First off, make the RPM lower. I don't know if that's realistic, but the thing has 80 RPM. And then there's one other thing you could do, and that is make it lose its torso kill at range. Now, that is a little bit controversial. It is a 50 cal, and like 50 cals are really big bullets, right? In fact, it might even be able to limb kill in real life. But still, if it couldn't one hit to the torso at, I don't know, like 450 studs, that would make it a little bit more balanced without completely nerfing it into the ground. 450 studs, that's really far away, obviously. 3 times the torso kill of old Mosin 8mm. But for the final 2 guns, first off, you have the PPK-12. Now, personally, I find this thing to be very overpowered, not only because it's a very, very good gun, to the point where it's like more broken than basically any PDW, just a direct upgrade to most of them. It can 2-shot to the head, has 1,000 RPM. Yes, it's a burst, but like, it's a pretty easy burst burst to use. This is me not macroing. I can shoot it very fast. The thing about it is that it has damage ranges of like 50 to 190 studs, and with the long barrel it's like 260 studs, and that is ridiculous because that means it can 4 hit and 5 hit so far. Basically like a C7A2 that does way more damage up close, shoots faster, and is a burst, which means it's just like probably even less recoil. Like the recoil on this thing is negligible. It's just a laser beam, and like it can less than one burst. Essentially it's the old M4 but better, because it literally has better damage ranges, better limb damage, and more RPM. Like, what? This thing is so good. People are like, wow, remember the old M16A4 and old M4? Well, this is pretty much just better. Frankly, the gun is ridiculous. I made a video on it before. But yeah, what could you do to nerf this gun? First off, give it a little bit more recoil, nerf the damage ranges, and make it do 35, or maybe 36 to 16. So maybe it's 7 hits at range. Something about it needs to be changed. I feel like 35 to 17 is in order, because that's what it actually used to do. Then when they added it to the main game, they're like, nah, it does 36. The problem with it doing 36 is that it 2-shunts to the head, which is kind of ridiculous considering it has 1000 RPM, very low recoil, very, very accurate. It was a pretty accurate time between the number 2 and the number 1 spot on this list, but I feel like the number 1 is something that a lot more people have been talking about. This gun is still kind of under the radar. I feel like more people need to be talking about how good this thing is. But people don't really like bursts sometimes. They're just a little bit harder to use. But yeah, I'm going 20 and 4 Gs. But now we have the number 1 gun on this list. Literally the best gun in this entire game. Really the only big competition with it is the PPK-12, which is funny because they're both AK-12 variants. Now the AK-12 is very, very good. Almost too good, but at least it doesn't do what the RPK-12 does, which is to say that the RPK-12 does everything the AK-12 does, but just has a bigger mag. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this gun. I really like the PPK-12 because like, not only is it just as accurate, it does more damage up close. It's more, I don't know, fast, good for movement, but the RPK-12 on burst with a full loadout is a menace to society. It is so accurate. This is with like 2 red lasers, by the way. No grip, no muzzle attachment, nothing. But yeah, with like a comp or a muzzle brake, stubby grip or like folding grip, good trigger finger, super armor piercing for 3 studs of penetration, which is like more than the AK-47, more than some of the sniper rifles in this game. You can beam somebody through a wall at 500 studs away and kill them with 5 shots at 1000 RPM, and it also is just so accurate that you will hit people like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite gun, but as you could probably tell, this thing is just very, very overpowered. All right, now that I have a compensator, let's see the recoil. Yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty accurate. So what could you do to nerf this gun? Well, first off, maybe add a burst delay. It would probably just completely nerf it into the ground, maybe. You could still use it on auto, but it just wouldn't be the same. So maybe that's not the right way to go. Maybe what you could do is lower the damage slightly. I don't know how you could nerf super armor piercing. Maybe just give it more recoil as well and slightly lower damage ranges. As well as, why does this thing have 2800 studs per second muzzle velocity? Maybe 2400? It does not need 2800. That's like a laser beam. But yeah, gamers, that's gonna do it for the video. I feel like some of these guns might be controversial. Some people might not want them to get nerfed, and that's understandable. If one of these is your favorite gun, these are just my ideas, and this is just my opinion. But yeah, gamers, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Yeah, this gun is pretty fair and balanced.